Chris Johnson, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. It's been said that to change your beliefs, values, or wiring requires a significant life event. Events such as marriage, birth of a child, or personal loss can open the mind to that sort of rewiring. Sometimes the right set of conditions and a suggestion from a friend or a mentor is all it takes to change your beliefs for the better. Today, Shane Sievers would like to entertain us, infotain us, as he's told me, with a short story about beliefs he has held and the subtle events that helped him open his mind to another perspective. Please welcome him in his 5 to 7 minute pocket speech, Find the Right Lake by Shane Sievers. Shane Sievers, Find the Right Lake.
Thunderous applause. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. When was the last time you changed your mind about something you believe in? You see, our beliefs determine our values, and our values drive our actions. And we enter this world with billions of neurons floating in our brain. And as we grow and experience things, those neurons form structures and pathways so that our brain can more easily make decisions. Hot is hot. Cold is cold. You don't have to think about it, you just know it. And eventually, those pathways start to form behavioral patterns and personality traits, things that identify us with who we are, our beliefs. I like toast with butter, not with jam. I like playing soccer, but I'm not a psychopath that watches it on a Sunday morning on TV. Or I always use a blinker when I change lanes, but some people just scream YOLO and shift through traffic. As we enter our teenage years, those pathways start to form more and more, and our brain becomes very efficient at making decisions and driving our beliefs, which inevitably drive our actions. I recently had a moment to reflect on some of my beliefs. See, growing up, we didn't have air conditioning. So we spent a lot of time at the public lake. In fact, thinking back about it, I'm not sure that we had a working kitchen because we always grilled our meals out on the public grill and our food was usually served out of a cooler. So I remember spending a lot of time just jumping in those waters. And we weren't fancy. We didn't have inflatables or nose plugs or goggles. We just jumped in and got wet. I remember one day when I was about 12, I hopped in and I decided I was gonna open my eyes underwater. To my surprise, I could only see about 10 inches in front of me. And what I saw was a brownish green tint as the light pierced the surface of the water, and algae. And it really looked like I was looking through a microscope at a petri dish. It's kind of disgusting. So I came to the surface of the water and I took a deep breath of air and I just smelled dead fish. And I made my way to the surface or to the shore, and I just became hyper aware of my environment, and I started feeling the squishy, slimy sand between my toes. What was going on? I was becoming disgusted with this freshwater lake. I was starting to form a belief that freshwater lakes were gross, and I didn't really enjoy it as much. Ugh. What perspectives do you have that you formed when you were a child? When was the last time you challenged them? Since that summer, my worldview has only continued to support the fact that freshwater lakes are disgusting. Parasites that eat your brain, leeches, boat accidents. Those places are dangerous. I really believed that for a long time, which sort of came at odds when I started falling in love with my now wife. You see, she was a beach baby, and she grew up at Silver Lake, always spending the summers at the dunes with her family, Lake Michigan, Silver Lake. It really didn't matter to her which lake. It was just a beautiful way to spend the time. And it was something that I often avoided because I believed freshwater lakes were horrible. Last week, my family and I decided, through invite of a friend, to spend some time at his lake house up in the northern half of the southern Mass of Michigan. We visited Boyne, Charlevoix, Sheboygan, and Alpena, and so many other small towns in between them. And with each small town, there was a lake, some small, some large. And I decided, even though I believe this is going to be a horrible experience, I better reserve that judgment because I'm also passionate about providing my family with an experience that's possibly different than my own. And I'm not upset that I reserved that judgment because with each lake, we were met with a glass beach, clean and refreshing. You could see every single little pebble for 100 feet out. And as you look deeper into the far distant horizon, those lakes turned into a sugary, slushy raspberry blue that you would find at a convenience store. It ended up being a wonderful experience. And it flipped my mind. It changed my beliefs about what it was to be in a lake. In fact, we spent more time in the lakes than out of them. I took a chance. I braced for change, and I was rewarded with a pleasant surprise. When your beliefs and your values can align with your passions, that's when you found the right lake. How will you find the lake without exploration? You have to lean into your fears and be willing to try new things. Put jam on your toast. Cheer for a random soccer team on Telenuovo. Maybe even scream no, don't scream YOLO. Always use your turn signal when you're changing lanes. I encourage you to challenge your beliefs and find the right lake. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And especially Shane. Shane, you said that you were going to infotain us, but it was actually more inspiring than anything. You took a remarkably simple idea and concept that just arose in this past week of adventures with your family and somehow transformed that into this beautifully inspiring, thought-provoking piece, which definitely had me second-guessing myself. And not just the entire speech, it was right off the get-go. I enjoyed the intro just because that first question, like right off the bat, it's like, whoa, really makes you think, like, when was the last time I changed some sort of belief? Maybe it's my own intuition thinking, yeah, you know, this is something that I probably should change every now and again. But I think it's definitely food for thought, and most people will be very receptive to that immediate wrangling in. However, after that, I was expecting some sort of a change, some sort of a break, and a finite ending to the intro, but it just kept going. And there could have been some sort of either a structural and or tonal component with your voice to indicate that somehow that was about it when it comes to the intro, and now we're moving into the body. But it just started to, it seemed a little enmeshed to me. It was clear that it was a pocket speech because of certain things such as that. The structure was definitely there, but a lot of ands used to describe the sentences, to start sentences. And this, and that, and the water was this, and then the light came in. Refraining from those, very, very difficult, especially if it's a pocket speech, more impromptu, but could be valuable at looking at. Included with some of this idea of the pocket speech is the pace. It was a little slow, but there were times where it could have been slower. Definitely, you had room for pauses, especially in your ending statement. It felt rushed, and yeah, it's some great content, again, to end on, but I think to make more meaningful, a pause could happen. Love the humor throughout. You had 3 examples. It tied everything together really nice. And your posture and eye contact, especially with the virtual venue, were incredible, especially for being so impromptu. Overall, though, you took some topical content, transformed it into something inspiring, and on the fly, I think pulled it off really nicely. So I'm looking forward to what other piece of wisdom you can share with us on your next family adventure. Thank you.